Welcome back, folks. It's day 32 of America Held Hostage. The incoherent, incontinent grandpa-in-chief, he's back at it again, folks.
Come on, what is this? Excuse me? Who is this?
Sorry, Lenny, but today is the Ralph Limbaugh show. You know, this is where I hear that opening bass line, and I just can't help but sink into my inner Rush. You know? I mean, I hear those tones now. I'll be honest with you. This is Ralph again talking. Ralph the character, but also Ralph the man. When I hear those tones now, they make me cry. I never used to do this, but now it makes me cry because, you know, a good song can take you back to a certain place in time. And for me now, when I hear that Pretenders song, I don't know if this is how they wrote it like this, but I'm instantly reminded of the sweet, docile vocal cords of not their singer, but of Rush Limbaugh. And I just recall being a little kid riding along in my grandfather's truck, listening to Rush, and just driving up and down the ports to beat up immigrants with an old
right, Ralph. Are you farther indicting yourself here? Is that what's going on?
No. I'm just remembering the great one. I hope that's not illegal.
Yeah, it will be.
And now, as he said, his talent was on loan from God, and on Wednesday, God asked for it back. Sean Hannity called him the Babe Ruth of radio, and not just because he's fat and likes cigars, but he was more than a radio host. And someone needs to do a tribute to Rush, and by gosh, we're going to be the ones to do it, because he was more than a radio host. He's more than a man. He was a founding father. And that's just the way his producer and call screener, Bo Snerdley, described him this week on Sean Hannity.
Rush is, to me, a second-generation founding father. This went beyond radio. This went beyond politics. What Rush did for America, one man changed so many trajectories in this country.
Snerdley's right. He was a founding father. Not like one of the original ones, but he's a founding father of the new America, made in Ronald Reagan's own image and perfected by President Donald
here
Trump.
I agree with you. This one man did change a lot of individuals' trajectories. He did an immense amount of damage, actually, to the country. Sarah Palin, the Tea Party, Trump, the rise of the QAnon insurrectionists. We can all trace that back to the nonsense Rush Limbaugh was spewing in people's ears in the 90s. So I agree with you on that one.
Okay, well, I think that I'm being you're missing.
No, the point is your grandpa's racist.
And the point is,
just like Rush Limbaugh. Is that not the point?
My grandpa is also dead. I can't believe you're going to tag everyone I know that I've ever
dead
been
people
close to
can't be racist
in my life.
I think Andrew Jackson would disagree.
No, they can't, not anymore. The point is, we're getting off track about who's racist from history, just trying to cancel old presidents. The point is, Rush is God. Now, when I was growing up, I used to hear kids say that all the time, and I thought, the prog rock nerd band? I mean, yeah, Ayn Rand is cool, but do we really need a 40-minute concept album about a future generation finding a guitar? It seems pretty boring. But then I found out that those tough young white frat boys yelling Rush is God were talking about El Rushbo, the man with the golden microphone. Soon to be me, once listeners can cough up enough money. But, you know, it's like Rush always used to say when he would do every show with have his brain tied behind his back, just to make it fair. And in the later years, with his cochlear implant tied to his brain, you know, he really did have his brain tied behind his back in a way.
Yeah.
You know? And you may not have liked him, but you do have to admit, he changed media.
Well, according to Slate, Rush Limbaugh wasn't the first right-wing talk radio star. This can actually go back as far as the 1960s in California when radio host Joe Pine had a popular conservative talk show, which included insulting hippies, union members, feminists. Rush is a ripoff of that guy through and through. And even before then, Father Conklin, who was airing Nazi propaganda for Americans. Really, that's kind of the origin of right-wing talk radio, if you think about it.
Well, I don't like to think about it because I like to look to the future and not the past. You know, okay? And Rush really pushed us into the future. I'm not even sure if I would even be here.
You wouldn't be conceived. If not for Rush Limbaugh.
I don't think.
Wow.
Well, you know, some people say, like, you know, their parents, they were conceived listening to, like, a
Bob
Steely
Marley,
Dan album.
yeah, like...
I believe I was conceived. My parents were listening to 3 hours of Rush.
Wow.
Okay? Because Rush,
in the middle of the day,
he did amazing things. In the middle of the day, yeah. Yeah, my father was taking a long lunch break, and they put me for adoption. It's neither here nor there.
Spain, yeah.
But, yes, El Rushbo, perfect for siesta sexy time. Now, what Rush did, besides making people horny, was he proved that the media had a liberal bias. Okay, before he started talking his little talk radio show, there was an uneven playing field, and he started to expose
This show is literally an even playing field. Okay, you're on the right, I'm on the left, Bill's far right, and most of our guests love Bernie. The show couldn't be more level, even, center, whatever you want to call it. Fairness doctrine. If the fairness doctrine was still around, they'd be like, this show is fine. It passes the test.
It doesn't feel like it to me. Okay? It never feels fair to me. Nevertheless, okay, I think one thing we could learn from Rush, okay, maybe even if the show is fair, it certainly is not very funny, okay? And I think the show could use a little humor, okay? That's what Rush did. He brought a sense of humor to his politics. Now, he was known for his great sense of humor. Here's a clip of them discussing his great sense of humor on Fox News.
Yeah, he had a great sort of self-deprecating sense of humor that I think people misinterpret sometimes with, the excellence in broadcasting and talent on loan from God and all of that. It was very funny. I always thought that he had a great sense of humor and was hilarious, and he was generous with people and different, even, people don't think this, but, he liked to hear people's different opinions.
His sense of humor. I think we have some clips coming that will definitely illustrate the perverse takes that he calls his sense of humor. And I think you will be disgusted, so keep the barf bag nearby.
No, Ralph, sorry, Rush.
Oh, Ralph.
Can't believe it.
Were you trying to talk to yourself? Did we get a little metaphysical there for a second?
We did. And here's the thing. Rush, the only thing he's guilty of, he called it like he seed it, okay? And in recent years, he knew that the mainstream media didn't want Trump to succeed, and he was one of the first people in the media to be saying that they don't want Trump to succeed as president, and that's cruel.
They don't want Trump to succeed.
But, of course, he always wished the very best for Obama, right? He loves his country and America and the leader of America, of course, which was Barack Obama for many years. Oh, wait. No, he said that he hopes he fails. Remember that? Remember that little chestnut, Greg?
But I don't need 400 words. I need 4. I hope he fails.
Okay, great. So he's a conservative, so he doesn't want a liberal to be,
So
to be succeeding.
Yes,
that's fine. Okay. Well, he's not a traitor, no. Because he's the opposite of a traitor because he welcomed different opinions. And now we have to praise him.
Well, he was besmirching a wartime president, and I think Rush Limbaugh, of all people, should know. George W. Bush days, you can't criticize a wartime president. And he did love different opinions. That's why he never had any guests. Kind of like this show lately, except for dogs sometimes. And he was always very open to hearing the opinions of his callers. And we have a clip, Greg.
Charles, I'm talking about the stupidity of the voting public today. I'm not talking about how much money people have. I'm using how much money people have and how many people don't freaking know it to talk about how stupid the American people have become. That's what I'm talking about.
How stupid have you become? You don't want to hear nothing about nothing. You want to yell and go off like you just said. It ain't about money. It's about the individual.
Charles, I'm beginning to think that I may be somewhat stupid because while I think I saw most of what's coming, there's some things that I missed about just how off the tracks our country is. And I'm beginning to really ask myself, do I know as much as I think I know about how stupid people are?
Okay, right. So everyone has a few bad days. My God, there's 30 years of, tapes you could go through, okay? But we're here to talk about why Rush was so great, okay? President Trump gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Now, that should mean something, okay? Why would President Trump do that if Rush wasn't a great guy?
Because he's also a bigoted, misogynistic racist who's obsessed with grifting lots of innocent people through conservative media. Maybe that's why. And I also have to say, Presidential Medal of Freedom is obviously quite perverse that you would give that medal to someone like Rush Limbaugh, who is he was a drug addict, he was morbidly obese, he was a misogynist, and he might be the first Medal of Freedom recipient to burn in hell. I don't know, Greg. We'll have to check that. Get the researchers on that question.
Greg, how come you never cut his mic? Cut his mic once in a while.
So no, he's a grifter. I get it.
What?
Yeah.
What else you want?
Yeah. I can see.
No, and here's the thing. It's not a grift. It's a talent. And his talent that he has is he was able to say what so many of us thought.
I think I just happen to be saying what a whole lot of people think but don't have the chance to say themselves. That's why they call me the most dangerous man in America. Somebody's finally saying this stuff.
You believe that?
The most dangerous man? No, I'm a harmless fuzzball.
What many of us thought. Yeah, the racist of us, which isn't me. And a high number of people that didn't openly consider themselves racist, but Rush allowed them permission to lean more into their vile opinions. So he actually made people more racist, more vile, more disgusting. He openly told them it's okay to think minorities and gay people and even women are beneath you. You should be a proud white man and continue to dominate society without any consideration of anyone else's feelings. Is that right, Ralph? Are these really the thoughts you think many Americans think?
Meanwhile, Al Sharpton goes out the front door. Yes, I spoke a little Negro dialect there. I can do that when I want to. I like to unify people. David Patterson will become the massa, who gets to appoint whoever gets to take Massa's place. In and out the front door. So, for the first time in his life, Patterson's going to be a massa. They have discovered that Obama does have slave blood. I didn't know that I had slave blood. Nobody was translating. Clyburn's new position, driving Miss Nancy. Let them call me racist, ha. He's not in the back of the bus, he's in the driver's seat, and she's in the back of the car being chauffeured.
Nigga with an A on the end. Well, I think I can now. Isn't that the point? Because it's not racist. That's the point.
It's the free market of ideas. So obviously, he's doing those things, but people are listening to it. Okay, and here's the thing: like, if he was so racist, why did he have a black producer? Why is Bo snurdly black? Huh?
You're using the he had one black friend, so it can't be racist argument. Really, that's what we're doing right now?
We are doing that. And I think that if Rush was still here, he would actually
of course
approve.
He would. He's shameless.
In fact, he would actually raise you, he would raise you one further, and he would even say that the Democrats are the real racist.
Yeah. Well, no Democrat I know ever made their black friend be the official criticizer of Barack Obama, laundering their racist opinions through the only black guy they know. And let me play a clip, actually, of Rush's show during the Obama years. This one featuring Al Sharpton impersonator and white guy Paul Shanklin.
Greg, here on out, I'd like to approve all the clips.
Yeah, the guy from the LA paper said he make guilty whites feel good. They'll vote for him and not for me, 'cause he's not from the hood. See real black men like Snoop Dogg or me or Farrakhan have talked the talk and walked the walk, not coming late and won. Oh, Barack, the magic need.
That was 2007.
Different time. Not that different. We were on the radio then.
Yes,
by the way,
time.
college radio, the first iteration of this show. No, it wasn't that different. And you know what? Rush is from the 1980s, okay? And his politics, his taste, decency never left that decade. Let me quote from a Mother Jones article on Rush Limbaugh in 1995. It read, "He targets dead people, little girls, and the homeless, none of whom are in a particularly good position to answer back. Satire is a weapon, and it can be quite cruel. When you use satire against powerless people, as Limbaugh does, it is not only cruel, it's profoundly vulgar."
Okay, great. So his humor is vulgar.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine. Okay. But again, he's giving a voice to a feeling in this country. No one was given voice to this feeling. And then he came out and he was speaking up, And I believe I want to read from that same article where they're talking about the type of listeners to Rush's show. And they say, Bubba understands he's being shafted, even if he doesn't know why or how or by whom. So he listens to Limbaugh. Limbaugh offers him scapegoats. It's the feminazis. It's the minorities. It's the limousine liberals. It's all these people with all their wacky social programs to help some silly, self-proclaimed bunch of victims. Bubba feels like a victim himself, and he is, but he never got any sympathy from
we give him sympathy. Do you look at Joe Biden's plans on his website? Did you read his website? Well, that's your problem. He doesn't want a woman to lead the Small Business Administration for a change, huh? That's what he wants us to listen to? Well, you know what? That's good for Bubba, and I think he should step off and check his privilege.
Bubba, it doesn't need to check his privilege, okay? He just wants a little respect, okay? And one thing you can say about Rush Limbaugh, is outside of all these cultural politics and stuff, he was an honorable man to people like Bubba because he obeyed the law. Okay.
I mean, didn't you just spend the first half of the show railing against cancel culture, a term that a new poll finds 50% of Americans don't even know about?
Greg, play the clip.
You know how you can stop urban violence? Not with a stupid ribbon. Obey the law. Just try obeying the law. If we obeyed the law, there wouldn't be any violence. Imagine that.
Except one little problem with that. He was arrested in 2006 for obtaining 2,000 painkillers from 4 different doctors in 6 months. And I see that we're not going to play the clip from his television show on October 5th, 1995, where he stated, too many whites are getting away with drug use, and he also stated, drug use, some might say, is destroying this country. And so, if people are violating the law by doing drugs, they ought to be accused, and they ought to be convicted, and they ought to be sent up. Why aren't we playing that, Greg?
Well, we couldn't find it.
Okay. Yeah,
it's very hard to. Greg,
really great clip showing what a hypocrite Rush Limbaugh is. Couldn't find it. Well, why don't we play all of his hits about Bill Clinton and then juxtapose that with the story about Rush coming back from the Dominican Republic in 2006 with a bottle of Viagra in another person's name? Remember that? You needed to steal dick pills. That's how low and disgusting this guy is.
I do remember that. I believe he said that he had a great time in the Dominican Republic and that it's a shame that he can't go on record ever to talk about it. So who knows what that means? Why you would have Viagra in the Dominican Republic, I don't know. I guess you want to rest your mojito on your Johnson. But it would seem inappropriate, okay? It's fine to attack Bill Clinton because he was the president then, and that's fine. But, Rush Limbaugh the man, not Rush Limbaugh the man, not the character.
Oh, we're doing this dog and pony show again. Okay, inappropriate. Let me tell you what's inappropriate. Calling lawyer and women's rights activist Sandra Fluke a slut. How about that? Is that inappropriate, Ralph? Or maybe when he said Michael J. Fox was faking his Parkinson's disease. And then, I don't know, impersonating him, a disabled person on the radio? Oh, right. Who does that remind us of? Very familiar. Remember that? Remember Trump when he was... wow. Just pond scum. A little bit of... Anywhere you look on the right, folks. You dig deep enough and you see shit. Okay, that's what it is. These people are full of shit.
So he had some off-color jokes, let's say, and he crossed the line from time to time, okay? But one thing you can say, at least a man in that position, he never encouraged violence. Now, here's him in 1991 telling 60 Minutes that he never encouraged his violence.
Lies can lead to hate crimes against innocent persons.
That's BS. It's unsubstantiated, it's unprovable, because it doesn't happen. Never once have I encouraged action of violence against anybody. I do not accept the notion that disagreeing with the politics of any group encourages others to be violent against them.
Except when he does. I don't have to go back to 1991 to tell you and show his hypocrisy. Here's his show on January 7th, the day after the Capitol riots. Greg?
A lot of irony out there, and there's a lot of people calling for the end of violence. There's a lot of conservatives, social media, who say that any violence or aggression at all is unacceptable, regardless of the circumstances. I'm glad Sam Adams, Thomas Paine, the actual Tea Party guys, the men at Lexington and Concord, didn't feel that way.
Okay, but let me.
Whoa, what? No, we're not Al Franken. So we don't have all day to prove that Rush Limbaugh is a big, fat, stupid idiot, a hypocritical piece of racist garbage. So I want to offer up my own farewell by playing my favorite Rush clip. Greg, we have that?
Okay. Well, I didn't realize that I didn't know that you had a favorite.
Oh, of course.
So fair enough. Okay,
Of
I'll
course.
listen to your favorite clip.
Of course I have a favorite Rush clip. It's a pretty recent clip, just about a year old, but it's definitely one of the greatest utterances to ever hit the golden microphone. Greg, let's hit it.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
That's rude. That is not. That's
Got
your
him.
favorite. Come
He's got
on.
cancer.
That is
Well, he had
not.
cancer. He died from it.
You're being
Greg,
mean.
let's hear that again. Come on.
You're being mean to him.
One more time for the fans.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
Greg, stop it. You're being mean. Lenny, don't make him play it again.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
We got to get Sturdley in here. He wouldn't do
All right,
this.
well, that about does it for
Rush is a
all of us
decent
here
man.
at
He's a
Baby
decent
Cow. I
man.
just want to say, Rush Limbaugh, enjoy your time in hell. It's the hottest beach destination you're ever going to find, and you can never leave. So we hope you enjoy it, except we actually don't. And also, the line of people who are going to piss on your grave, it's going to be longer than, the entire state of Texas, the entire width of Texas, like so many people. And like I said, my urine, I don't think his grave is actually good enough for my urine. I am saving that up for Ben Shapiro's little shoebox of horrors when he croaks. But yeah, we're not going to miss you, and eat shit.
Don't worry, Rush. I'm going to be there kicking everyone who's in line to piss on your grave. I'm going to beat them up I'm going to have a flagpole with the flag at half mast and just beat them up.
Okay, well, until next time, you've been listening to Debate Me Coward. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already. All the good stuff, that you do with the podcast. Do it with us.
Lauren Boebert, if you're out there, message me back.
I mean, the Republican Party squandered its legacy given to them by Reagan during the 1980s, and now it's trying to put it all back together. There's not a single set of beliefs, ideals, visions that anybody can rally around right now in the Republican Party, and there's not one candidate yet that has come forth that will allow whatever he stands for to be the standard bearer. It's going to shake out.